In the last video, we looked and saw how it is that the gospel, in terms of justice, is very understandable. Um, in those terms, we come to the cross recognizing our own sin. We Jesus takes that sin on himself, cancels that sin, and he gives us, instead of sin, righteousness. Today, we'll look and see what happens in terms of honor. So, in terms of honor, something very similar takes place. We come to the cross recognizing not our honor, not how honorable we are, not what good people we are. We come to the cross recognizing our shame. Jesus takes that shame onto himself and he cancels that shame on the cross. Then Jesus gives us honor. And finally, he calls us to treat those around us with honor as well. So let's tear into this point by point. First of all, we come to the cross recognizing our shame. Jesus told the parable of a Pharisee and a tax collector who stood praying. The Pharisee prayed, Lord, I thank you that I'm not like this horrible sinner, this tax collector. Jesus said, the tax collector stood at a distance. He wouldn't even look to heaven. But the tax collector, standing some distance away, was even unwilling to lift up his eyes to heaven, but was beating his breast with his face, saying, God, be merciful to me, the sinner. You see, we come to the cross recognizing our shame, and Jesus takes that shame on himself. Being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Jesus took that shame on himself. When we think of the cross, frequently we'll see a painting of the cross in which Jesus is just wrapped in a loincloth. That's not the way it happened at all. No one would dare paint the crucifixion the way it really happened. They crucified men naked. Jesus, the perfect, innocent, sinless Son of God, shamed by hanging naked on the tree. Jesus takes our shame on himself, and he cancels that shame on the cross. Some of us have memorized Romans 10, 9, and 10, but we don't read verse 11. If you declare with your voice, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you'll be saved. For it's with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it's with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. Paul is clearly talking about salvation here, but look at verse 11. As scripture says, anyone who believes in him will never be put to shame. Paul is not talking here so much about the fact that Jesus saves us from our sin as that he saves us from our shame. Jesus then gives us honor. John chapter 17, verse 22, the glory which you have given me, I've given to them that they may be one just as we are one. Glory is honor. Jesus says, I have given you the honor, the very honor that you have given me. And then he calls us to treat those around us with honor. Romans chapter 12, verse 10, be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Give preference to one another in honor. 1 Peter 2, 7, honor all people. Love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. Jesus takes our shame on himself on the cross, cancels that shame, gives us honor, and calls us to treat each other with honor. this may have caused some questions. Write them down, bring them with you to class. When we come together, we'll deal with those questions. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we will look at what it means to treat the gospel in terms of power. See you in the next video.